What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Hope you're having a great start to the end to the week. What am I talking about? This is not Monday. This is crazy. I always do this stuff. Anyways, let's start that over. Hello, guys. I hope you're having a great end to the week. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 focuses for 2021. So these are good focuses no matter what year we're in, but I think 2021 is especially important because we've had a crazy last couple of years, and this is a really good time to really set up a good new foundation and start to have some new goals for the year, So let's go ahead and dive in. The first focus for 2021 is increasing the gap. Now, I've heard lots of people talk about this in some capacity, but one of my friends, Paula Pant, I think does a great job of illustrating what this exactly means. The gap is the difference between your income and your expenses. So if we can increase that gap where you have more income than expenses and that leftover money, whatever we can do to increase that gap is going to be a really, really good thing for you to do. That's how you can start to build some great wealth. So increase the gap is a great focus for 2021. The next focus that I think everybody should be working towards is side hustles. Side hustles are incredible. It's not just about the money, it's about the skills you learned while doing the side hustle. I'm such a big fan of this because I see that so many people are truly living paycheck to paycheck and are one emergency away from a really, really rough time. If that's your situation, side hustles can help you break that cycle. One of my favorite side hustles that you guys know I talk about all the time is furniture flipping. I think furniture flipping is such a killer side hustle because it really has very limited barriers to entry. You can find furniture for free. You don't have to fix it up. I always think it's a little bit better sometimes if you can because you'll get a higher profit. But ultimately, start with where you are and keep working on how do I find more furniture to flip. Search for Craigslist, search for Facebook Marketplace, and definitely search around your house. You can also contact your friends and family and say, yo guys, if you have furniture you're trying to get rid of, let me know and I will sell it. Great way to go. But definitely work on side hustles so that you can start to increase your income further during 2021. Now, the next focus that is so critical is controlling emotions. We talk about controlling emotions a lot on this podcast because at the end of the day, I truly believe if you can control your emotions and not let yourself be impulsive or an emotional spender, you're going to have more money in your pocket. And sometimes this emotional spending comes up in really sneaky ways where it's little things like family barbecues or taking a family vacation, or maybe it's even just this idea of starting a business. So you invest in inventory. At the end of the day, all of those things are just emotions, and that controls us in so many ways. It's also the difference between buying a car that just gets you from point A to point B and overspending and buying a car that really stretches your budget. All of this comes down to emotions. So if we can work on being more proactive with controlling our emotions in 2021, I do believe that a lot of financial results will come as a consequence of that. And one of the best ways to control your emotions is to just breathe and ask yourself, why am I purchasing something right now? Why am I buying this? Is it because I need it or because I want it? There's nothing wrong with wants, but being aware of why you're making purchases, I think is one of the best keys to leveling up your finances. So definitely work on controlling your emotions in 2021. Now, another great tip that I think everybody should focus on in 2021 is actually spending money on experiences instead of things. You will always take experiences with you for the rest of your life. You're going to look back on your life and you're going to remember those moments. You may not remember all the stuff that you bought, but you will remember the way you spent your money, the people you spent it with, that kind of stuff. It doesn't always have to be super costly to spend on experiences either. It could be something as simple as taking the kids to the park and feeding the ducks. Like, it literally can be something that simple. It could be something as simple as going for a Sunday drive every single Sunday, which costs a tank of gas and maybe some hot chocolate, and exploring new parts around your city. Whatever you choose to do, try your hardest this year to spend on experiences. I promise you it feels a lot more fulfilling when you're doing that with your money, and it makes you feel like there's actually some intention behind why you're spending. And not to mention, you're going to get those lifelong memories, and science shows it makes us happier. So definitely work on spending more on experiences and less on stuff in 2021. Now, the last tip that I highly recommend that I think everybody should be actively prioritizing is investing more money. Let's be real. The dream is not to work until you're 70 years old because you have to. The dream is having enough money in your accounts where when you look at your net worth as a whole, you have the option to retire. You don't have to retire, but you have that freedom of, I can quit this job. I can walk away from this job. I don't need to continue earning money because I'm covered. that is such a gift. And I recognize that it's a hard goal to achieve for so many people, but the best way to do that is to work on increasing your wealth. I'm a big believer that you cannot save your way to wealth. You have to invest. So investing more money usually comes at a sacrifice, right? You have to cut expenses in some capacity. Maybe that means you have to pick up extra hours at work through a side hustle too. There's so many different ways to increase your income and reduce your expenses. But the more you can go back to tip number one, which is increasing that gap between income and expenses, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to have more cash flow, more free cash flow to invest. I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. So I hope that these tips have really resonated with you. Do me the biggest favor, make sure that you share this podcast episode with somebody that you care about, or take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram to let me know you're listening in. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another episode of the Money Nerds Podcast. Bye.